Hey everybody, Jake here from Bearded Gear, and I've got a full review to do for you. I'm way backed up on reviews. I need to start knocking out a few of these knives that I've been carrying around for a couple of weeks. This is a White Mountain Knives exclusive Mini Arion. The Arion is a Cerberus Knives design. It is built by Artisan Cutlery, and I reviewed back a while ago the prototype of the original Arion, and I was excited to review it. I loved it. Really great knife. Christian, the guy behind Cerberus Knives, is a buddy at this point. I've met him a few times in person. We've hung out, and he's a cool dude. So I liked the full-size version. I've always kind of meant to pick one up. I just haven't. There's so many knives, guys. But this mini version, I need to shout out LeftyEDC because he got this for me from White Mountain Knives. I think he's buddies with the guys over there. So he just ordered one up for me and had it sent straight to me because he thought I would like it. And Kev's a good buddy at this point. So if you don't follow LeftyEDC or subscribe to his YouTube channel, I will link LeftyEDC down below. Awesome dude, one of my good buddies. I owe him one for this. And then if you don't follow White Mountain Knives, I'll link them down below because this is their exclusive. You can only get this mini version in this configuration of the Arion from them, which is cool. I love seeing dealers do interesting exclusives. I think that's a cool part of the industry. So I like that. And White Mountain Knives is good. I've only ordered from them personally a handful of times, but every time it's been good. And I know a lot of people have like affiliate link codes with them and stuff, LeftyEDC being one of them. So maybe I'll even put like through his affiliate link down below or whatever. We'll see if I can figure that out. But yeah, so they seem like cool dudes over there. Anyway, that's who's involved, and Artisan Cutlery, obviously, because they make this knife. It is their knife design. It's a licensed design from Cerberus, so it's an Artisan knife. It has the Artisan logo on it and everything. All right, so let's talk about what this knife is made of, and then my experience with it, and just kind of go piece by piece. The steel on this guy is AR RPM 9. That's Artisan's in-house steel that they really like using because they developed it or helped to develop it or whatever. And I've done some testing on the steel already. Kevin actually sent me I think it was called the Arroyo. It's a Dirk Pinkerton design knife from Artisan, and had me field test it. And so I did that a while back. I did outdoor use, indoor use, a bunch of stuff, and I tried to get through the original edge on it to where it got dull, and then resharpened it and sent it on. But the steel performed better than I anticipated it performing. I figured it would probably be somewhere in the range of D2 because of the range that they price knives with it and that they put it in. It just seemed like it would be kind of in that arena, and I personally liked it better than most D2 that I've experienced. But I'm not a metallurgist. I don't know super in-depth stuff about the steel. I just know that I'm cool with it, especially in this range. Sub $100 knife, micarta liner lock. It's a cool steel to put on it, and it's their internal steel, so it makes sense. Anyway, that's the steel we're working with. Then we've got these micarta scales. I forget what they call this. Is it burgundy or crimson or something? I don't know. It's like a reddish purplish micarta. Because the handles are contoured a little bit, you can see there's some cool kind of definition on there. Looks nice, soaks up the oils on your hand pretty well. We've got a deep carry loop over style clip, which is countersunk into the handle. Screws are countersunk into it. Love that. Liner lock. I'm assuming these are just steel liners. I haven't checked, but they've got to be. And there's a little bit of internal weight relief, not a ton, but a little bit. It's not a heavy knife either way. Fairly thin blade stock. Runs on bearings, nice and smooth. So yeah, pretty sweet setup. And I've carried this knife a pretty good bit. It makes a good secondary, so that makes it easy for me to toss it in pocket, just as kind of a backup knife. And it's great in terms of the like kind of punch it packs for the size that it fits in, because it's nice and thin. It's nice and like compact in a lot of ways, but it fits my hand with full 4-finger grip, and there's actually a decent amount of blade length on it. So for knives that I would carry as a secondary, this is phenomenal in terms of how usable it really is and feels. Anyway, let's start with ergos. So ergonomically, I really, really like it. I liked the original full-size version of this knife. I might even like this a little bit better, which is weird because usually a little bit more size, especially on a neutral handle, make it more comfortable. I guess I'd have to hold them side by side, but I just really like this. It fits my hand super well. I don't have extra handle, but I don't feel like I've run out too early. If I kind of put my first knuckle right up here into this groove and bear down, it just feels really, really good. Super neutral, but locked in. The materials are holding me in well. The little bit of jimping up here isn't too aggressive, but it's giving me a little extra purchase. It just feels nice. I dig it. I really, really like in a saber grip the way this knife feels. Hammer grip, also super comfortable. Reverse grip, super comfortable. Reverse grip draw cut, super comfortable. Forward grip draw cut, super comfortable. All the grips, because this handle is basically just like a super neutral, comfortable spot to land, are comfortable. It feels really, really good in hand, especially for being a relatively small knife. All right, so yeah, ergos are fantastic. Let's talk carry. This knife is really thin in this direction, and that is one of the biggest contributing factors, in my opinion, to how comfortable a knife is in pocket. It's quite thin, and so with it being relatively thin, with it being pretty lightweight because of that thinness and its size and not an overly thick blade stock, like, it feels very, very comfortable in pocket. You pair that with the loop over style deep carry clip, comes all the way to the butt end of the knife. Everything, like I mentioned already, is countersunk, so there's no hang up points in here. Everything is just super easy in and out of pocket. It's got good retention, and it's comfortable. There's no flipper tab, there's no big hump. Everything is sleek and lined up and smooth, and it's just comfortable. It's been really, really nice in pocket. So in terms of how it carries, I've got nothing but good things to say. Obviously, there hasn't been a thing I've noticed about this that's been like, but that's kind of a bummer. It's just really good in pocket. Action. Let's talk action. So you've got a hole or a slot, whatever you want to call it, for opening, and that's your only deployment method. There's no flipper tab, there's nothing. You can thumb flick this. I personally struggle with it a little bit because of the placement of the hole, because you want to get the top, but then there's this curve that comes out that your thumb like collides with if you're pressing forward on that. So like I just showed, I can do it. It works, but I don't find myself wanting to thumb flick it anyways. If it has a hole, I'm going to middle finger flick it. That's just the way my brain works. It's my favorite way to open a knife. So the fact that this has a nice wide slot hole thing where I can put my finger in a variety of places and any of them will work to engage it is really, really nice. I like the shape of this hole. I like the way that it works with my middle finger to go ahead and flick the knife out. It's good. The detent is dialed well for it. Nice clean break. I've never struggled where like I've failed the knife or anything like that. It just hasn't happened. On a middle finger flick, it feels super dialed for it. It just pops, makes interesting clicky sounds. Sounds nice. On closure, it's also way more drop shutty than I was expecting it to be at this price range and this kind of type of build being a liner lock. It is really smooth and it comes down smooth. It is a nice closing knife for being kind of a budget range blade. It's really, really good, especially because it's not a super thick blade stock. Like sometimes you get a really heavy blade and that makes anything drop shut, but it's just really well dialed on these bearings. I have seen a couple people complain that they got these and the action wasn't stellar, that it was gritty or something. I can't speak to that because this one has literally just been awesome, like really, really good. So it's great in the action department. If you like to middle finger flick, it's awesome. If you don't like to middle finger flick knives, then I probably wouldn't really recommend it because it's not great for thumb flicking. I guess if you're a slow roller, sure, the slot works great for that. But if you like thumb flicking or you like flipper tabs, that's not going to be for you. But if middle finger flicking does it for you, like it does for me, then great. All right, so that leaves us with cutting performance. This blade shape is super usable in my experience and opinion. I really, really like it. We've got a nice, pretty tall flat grind. The blade stock starts pretty thin, so it comes down to not like a laser beam of an edge. It's not crazy thin, but it's a nice, thin, usable blade profile. The grind is done well. Everything about it looks nice, lines up. I feel like this steel is starting to patina a little bit on me, which is kind of cool. It's getting like some kind of bronzish tones in it. I don't know if that comes through, but anyway, it's ground well. In terms of the shape, it's just intuitive to use, I find. It's all just gradual belly, so you can kind of rock through things. It's got a really nice, very precise tip on it. I've used it a lot for like packaging stuff, like my daughter's toys. She gets an obscene amount of toys, but little zip ties inside of Barbies and crazy little intricate stuff like that. This knife is great for because it's got a really precise tip and it kind of goes where you point it, if that makes sense. Like it aims intuitively, and it's great on cardboard, it's great on paper, it's done great for opening boxes, packaging, that kind of stuff. I have put it through a lot of cardboard, just getting stuff prepped for the dumpster so that it lays flat in there. It's great. I really, really like cutting with it. I feel like, honestly, let me see if yeah, it's right here. This is the first knife in a while that I have felt sub $100 is comparable to the Ferrum Forge Stinger. They're a little different. The Stinger is thinner and slicier, and it's a flipper, plus it's got the fuller so you can middle finger flick it. So they're not identical knives in any stretch of the imagination, or by any stretch of the imagination, but they both have a nice action. They're both kind of in the same size category. They both have great deep carry clips, and they're both really pleasant to carry and use, and I like them better than like the whole sea of Civivis that are out there. And yeah, so for a sub $100 knife, to me, to be kind of in that conversation with the Stinger, maybe I'll have to do a head-to-head at some point to determine for myself which one I actually like more. That's impressive because that's been my favorite kind of budget knife for a while now. And the Stinger still makes it in pocket every now and then, whereas other budget knives that I've already reviewed really don't, which maybe sounds pretentious, but whatever. I carry my more expensive, nicer knives way more than I carry budget knives. But the Stinger still makes it in pocket sometimes, and I think this will too, for a lot of the same reasons. So yeah, it's great. I really, really like it. It cuts well, it carries great, the action is fun, and the ergos are awesome. So like, it's kind of just crushing it. I really, really like it. So I guess that's it for my full review. I love this knife. It's great for the money. I think it's super easy to recommend. I hope they do even more iterations with different colors of micarta or whatever, because it's just cool. I think they should keep going with this. It's a great knife, and within the Artisan lineup particularly, I feel like it's a really exciting, really great offering, and it's cool. So anyway, thanks again to Kevin, LeftyEDC, who will be linked down below. Check out his channel if you haven't. I'll link White Mountain Knives as well, where this is an exclusive from, and we'll call it good. Thanks so much, guys. We'll see you on the next one.